everyone, how's it going? So in this video, we're going to take a look at Mullen Automotive Inc. trading under the ticker symbol MULN on the Nasdaq. We have covered Mullen on numerous occasions, and every time it has gathered a lot of attention and interest from the viewers. So for that, thank you very much. I would say that as we come to the end of 2022, we're going to see a 2023 that's going to be more of the same, or if you will, less of the same. So the fundamental conditions remain challenging, and we're going to see a shrink, probably a recession around the world. And in this kind of context, it's kind of refreshing to see that Mullen, ever since the end of October of 2022, till this day, it has more or less been able to maintain itself around 20 cents. I think that the lowest that it has dipped so far has been 19 cents. And ever since then, every time there's any sort of snippets of news that comes out, the market has taken it favorably, which in by itself is kind of a feat. Okay. Now, I recently have seen I've watched some videos from other fellow YouTubers covering Mullen, and I found this remark very pertinent. It might be very simple and abrupt, and maybe lack some, philosophical depth or whatever. We don't have to care, okay? They don't really matter. What he was saying is, what's interesting with Mullen is that every time they have a news, the stock kind of takes off. Now, given that the stock hasn't reached, 30 cents yet, I would say that it's not that they will take off for sure, but rather they're going to try to take off. They're going to try to use this as a catalyst to go higher. Does it have to do with the fundamentals? We're going to come to the fundamentals in a sec. But I think that in this case, most people trading Mullen are more than aware that this is a stock that they want to trade. It's not necessarily a stock that they're willing to put their money in for the next couple of years just yet. Will it happen? I mean, who knows? I look, at some point, NIO was almost going down to like a penny stock level. At some point, Tesla, people were wondering if Tesla is going to survive. Okay, and hint, Tesla may still have to ask themselves this kind of question in the years to come. Okay, but for different kinds of reasons. Mullen, on the other hand, I think that yes, sometimes they benefit or suffer from like the larger trends, but for the most part, they are on their own thing. And if the stock has fallen, over the past few months, it's not necessarily because the market hasn't been kind to the sector, or at least that's not the main reason, in my opinion. I think the main reason is because Mullen itself has been pictured as a company that cannot be relied upon, that it has a CEO that's more in it for him as a hustler than an entrepreneur trying to make like EV cars. With that being said, doesn't mean that he's a crook for sure. No, of course not. I don't have the proof to say that he is a crook. This is just the kind of smoke that I see often enough to determine that, there's a heck of a lot of smoke if there is no flame, right? If there's no fire. Anyway, so regarding its current price action, I would say that it's kind of promising. The fact that they have been able to maintain themselves above the 20 cents level doesn't mean that this can be a bottom. I think that it's pretty obvious that the market no longer wants to see the stock lower than 20 cents. So with that being said, how much higher can it go? Well, that's an excellent question. And a lot of people don't necessarily have, like most people, don't necessarily have an answer. But what they know for sure is that if you enter in the trade right now, it's going to take, a huge amount of pressure, a lot of negative news affecting both the market, the sector, and the company itself to see it going below 19 cents. With that being said, soon enough, I think that Mullen will have to say that they're going to go through a reverse stock split. Is it going to help the company? Usually it doesn't. Okay, it usually doesn't. Like, it's going to mechanically push the stock price back to above $1. I honestly don't think that this is going to help the share price to maintain above $1 or more than $1 for very long. This is based on like the statistical probability. Now, should you buy Mullen in this context? I would say that this can mark the beginning of a period of DCA for Mullen shares. You don't have to buy your allocated amount in one shot, nor is it recommended. But I think that it's a smart move to start building up the position now and assume that the volatility, especially the downward volatility, if any, is going to last for about 6 months. Okay? Beyond that, we're going to have other catalysts to look at. So overall, I would recommend to have 0.5 or 1% of your portfolio's capital in Mullen if you have a diversified portfolio with different kinds of holdings across different sectors. And if you're comfortable trading small caps. Hold on, is it a small cap? Let me see. Okay, no, sorry. It's not necessarily a small cap. But like penny stocks. Okay, like if you're comfortable trading penny stocks, go ahead. Of course, in terms of percentage, the how can I put it? Like the volatility can be very large, and if it goes in your favor, you can win a handsome amount of money. But I would recommend to not go above 1% of your capital to avoid sleepless nights.